All change. Married at First Sight star diagnosed with life-changing disease after hospital dash and 1.5 stone weight loss. The star had been tipped to star in a huge reality show after finding MAFS fame. A Married at First Sight star has been diagnosed with a life-changing condition after losing almost 2 stone. Earlier this month, we reported how the personality had been rushed to hospital. Now Essex businessman J.J. Slater has been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, according to Mail Online. He was told how his body had deteriorated, and that his life would never be the same due to the condition. JJ's weight dropped from 13.3 stone to 12 stone ahead of his medical emergency. He told the publication of his symptoms and said, "I was waking up 4 to 5 times needing the toilet. Then I started to lose weight quite quickly. I lost about 1.5 stone in 3 weeks, but I was still eating the same and going to the gym every day." He added, "I hadn't changed anything, but my body was deteriorating, so I knew something was wrong. I was getting lightheaded often. I was on the sofa watching TV and then stood up and fell to the floor, so I knew something wasn't right. I had a blood test and my doctor said I probably wouldn't hear anything until after Christmas, but I woke up the following morning to 3 missed calls from 111 and voicemails saying, 'As soon as you wake up, go to hospital.' I have never woken up so quickly. I panicked thinking it was the worst news." The reality TV star, who initially married Bianca Patronzi, but later returned to the experiment with Ella Morgan, 30, and found that his blood sugar had plummeted to dangerously high levels. This sparked the potential for diabetic ketoacidosis, when the body enters ketosis. When there isn't enough glucose in the body to burn for energy, the body uses fat instead, and this produces a type of chemical called ketones. According to the NHS, a sweet-smelling breath can indicate the presence of the condition. Previously, the clothes designer shared a snap on his Instagram of him lying in a hospital bed with heart monitors strapped to his chest. JJ captioned the shot, which was shared to his stories, "Happy Wednesday," followed by a heart hands and crying emojis. He added beneath with an asterisk, "I'm doing okay, by the way." At the time, a rep for JJ told The Sun, he fell ill and was taken to hospital and they are running tests, which is all we know at this stage. Meanwhile, The Sun previously exclusively reported how fashion designer JJ was in talks to join TOEI. JJ certainly has the makings of a lavish screen star, with his jet-setting lifestyle and posh nights out. A source was first to tell us, JJ has made quite the impact on Married at First Sight, thanks to all the headlines generated by him a wife swapping with Ella, and he's caught the eye of TOEI bosses. They think he would be a perfect fit for their show. He's from Essex, he looks good, and having starred on MAFS, clearly knows how to bring drama. Today's next news. Where to watch Married at First Sight Season 17 Episode 11. Streaming platforms explored. Married at First Sight Season 17 manages to surprise viewers with its interesting twists, including the feature of a runaway bride who left groom Michael stranded at the altar. The format of the reality TV show has a group of singles marrying their potential partners, selected by relationship experts. The spouses have to spend 8 weeks in an experimental marriage, which entails going on a honeymoon trip together. After their return, the spouses get to decide if they're willing to stay together or get a divorce on decision day. Throughout the season, the bonds of the couples are examined and observed by experts. The specialists gauge their compatibility and help the spouses navigate and adjust to their new bonds. 10 episodes of Married at First Sight Season 17 have already been released, but there happens to be a week's delay in the premiere of the next episode. The makers haven't cited the reason behind the delay as of writing. Ever since the inception of Season 17, there has never been a dull episode of Married at First Sight. Be it romantic gestures, ugly fights, or facing tumultuous equations, the experimental adventure has viewers hooked on their screens. It's about to happen again this coming week. Tune in to Lifetime to watch the exclusive release of episode 11 on Wednesday. Though Married at First Sight officially airs on Lifetime, viewers can see what happens in the lives of married couples on several streaming platforms, including Philo, DirecTV Stream, and Sling. Wednesday's episode, titled Taking It Day by Day, is all set to showcase how the spouses will spend their one-month anniversaries together. From ice skating and skiing to exploring the mountains, there are lots of romantic adventures to witness. However, not everyone is willing to participate in the celebration. It is suggested that a text from one of the husbands is going to leave a wife heartbroken. What happened in Married at First Sight episode 10? The episode, Breaking Up the Party, saw the spouses going for a potluck dinner, but the happiness evaporated quickly after the explosive visit of Dr. Pia Hollick, a ex-therapist and psychologist on the show. She visited Brennan and Emily, but the discussion wasn't cordial. Brennan didn't let Emily chip in with her words, and his edgewise interruptions were highlighted multiple times by the doctor. Viewers know Brennan and Emily, who wed sight unseen, had a rocky start to their marriage and still struggle to find common ground and adjust to their married life. In the episode, Dr. Pia aims to extract the reason behind Emily's uncomfortable mannerisms, but Brennan keeps interrupting his wife. After the honeymoon, Brennan openly admitted he wasn't attracted to Emily. They spent a couple of days at his apartment instead of moving into a shared space. He also did not help Emily shift her belongings, despite knowing she had an injured wrist. At the housewarming party, Emily's friends weren't impressed by her spouse's mannerisms. Besides Brennan and Emily, Claire Cameron, Becca Austin, and Michael Chloe are the other couples who've signed up for an experimental marriage. The decision day of the reality TV show is likely to occur in April 2024. Today's next news. Exclusive Married at First Sight UK star JJ Slater reveals he has been diagnosed with a life-changing disease after his body deteriorated, and he lost 1.5 stone in 3 weeks. Married at First Sight UK star JJ Slater has been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, Mail Online can reveal. The contestant was rushed to hospital days before Christmas after feeling lightheaded and losing 1.5 stone in 3 weeks, causing his body to deteriorate. JJ was contacted in the middle of the night by his doctor, who told him to go to hospital immediately after a blood test showed that his sugar levels were dangerously high, and he was at risk of diabetic ketoacidosis, which can be life-threatening. Panicked and afraid, JJ was informed by the nurse that, from this day forward your life will never be the same. After learning that his diagnosis at 31 means he now has to inject himself with insulin 4 times a day and regulate his food consumption. And as there isn't a cure for type 1 diabetes, JJ says he is still coming to terms with the change and is doing his best to learn about how to manage his condition. JJ told Mail Online, "The first signs were that I always felt thirsty and needed to go to the toilet in the middle of the night. I was waking up 4 to 5 times needing the toilet. Then I started to lose weight quite quickly. I lost about 1.5 stone in 3 weeks, but I was still eating the same and going to the gym every day. I hadn't changed anything, but my body was deteriorating, so I knew something was wrong. I was getting lightheaded often. I was on the sofa watching TV and then stood up and fell to the floor, so I knew something wasn't right. I had a blood test and my doctor said I probably wouldn't hear anything until after Christmas, but I woke up the following morning to 3 missed calls from 111 and voicemails saying, 'As soon as you wake up, go to hospital.' I have never woken up so quickly. I panicked thinking it was the worst news." JJ explained that type 1 diabetes is when your blood sugar is too high because your body is unable to make a hormone called insulin. The causes of type 1 diabetes are unknown and there is nothing you can do to prevent yourself from developing the disease, but it can be treated by injecting insulin into your body. Doctors needed to see JJ right away after his blood sugar levels were alarmingly high at 34 when the healthy level is between 4-7 mol/L. He said, "The average person's blood sugar is 4 to 7 and mine was, so mine was super high and there are a lot of complications that come with that. Your blood can become acidic, which is called DKA. They were afraid that my glucose was so high that the process had already started. Luckily, it hasn't, so being diagnosed before that happened was crucial. The nurse doing the tests told me, from this day forward your life will never be the same. Like anyone, I knew nothing about diabetes. I hear people saying their granddad has it, but I didn't really take much notice of it and know how serious it is. It was a huge shock. It is terrible and a really bad thing, but it is manageable." JJ, who found fame on the show Married at First Sight UK this year when he married Bianca Patronzi, says he has a lot to learn about type 1 diabetes, which is often associated with older people. The major life change for JJ will be injecting himself because he has a phobia of needles, as well as managing his diet, which up until now he hasn't had to pay close attention to. He said, "Type 1 is an autoimmune disease, whereas type 2 is brought on by lifestyle and you can help it with diet, but type 1 it is what it is. For the rest of my life, I will have this and it's getting my head around that. I've lived my whole life until the age of 31 and now this has happened. I have never had to think about what I eat, when I eat or injecting myself. I have to inject myself 4 times a day now. It's a lot of change. It is a huge journey from being diagnosed to understanding the condition. I hate needles. I know I have lots of tattoos, but needles are my fear. Injecting myself with a liquid gives me the ick." While JJ's marriage to Bianca didn't last, he developed a romantic relationship with transgender Bridge Ella Morgan, and the couple were welcomed back into the TV experiment. He says his co-stars including Ella have supported him throughout his diagnosis, and advice from Tasha J., who is also type 1 diabetic, has been invaluable. JJ added, "I've been on the phone with Tasha almost every day since this happened. I'm like, is this normal? Does this happen? She's been a huge help. We did the wife swap together, so maybe that happened for a reason. I've also spoken to Laura, Ella, Thomas, and Luke, who have all been there for me. They have all been really good actually." JJ hopes that he can use his platform to raise awareness for type 1 diabetes and work with charities such as Diabetes UK to educate the masses on the disease. He said, "I have said for years that I would like to work with charities, but I've never had a purpose. I am newly diagnosed and there's so much that I have to learn, but I would like to help other people and get involved with Diabetes UK. I am trying to look at things in a positive light." Thanks for watching this videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more updated news.